Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, you stupid motherfucker!
You're gonna find me dead! I'm gonna kill myself!
Hit the fucking guy! What the fuck is he doing?
I'm gonna be hanging from the bathroom!
They got the leg!
Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey Jerry. Jerry Don, just like we drew it up, the boys head out to Seattle. Jerry puts 20 grand on the Steelers money line to hit. He wins. We're going to the final week of the season. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a legitimate chance to make the playoffs at this point. Are we going to get in there, Jerry? And if so, how's it going to happen?
It'll be tough. It'll be tough to get in. I don't think we should worry about the Jags game because I think the Jags are going to win that game against the Titans.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to the Bills game, which is going to be interesting. I know Miami just lost Bradley Chubb. That's a big loss.
And Xavier Howard. They lost Howard too. He's not going to play.
They're coming off getting blown out from the Ravens. You would think they would have a little bit of a bounce back type of game. So, and it's for the division too, Bills and Dolphins. So huge game. Obviously, every starter is going to play in that game. I'm obviously pulling for the Dolphins. I still think it's going to be close. Steelers just have to worry about handling their business. And hey, listen, if we don't get in, we don't get in. It is what it is. I would love to see him in the playoffs. I would love to see, Rudolph continue his success. I mean, he's been playing great, man. Offense is buzzing. Running game is elite right now. Jalen Warren is just so special. Special. Yeah. Pickens is going crazy. The only thing that's suspect about the Steelers is that the secondary is just awful. They're just not
terrible.
Yeah, they're just not good. And you catch a team like the Dolphins or Bills in the playoffs, Ravens. I mean, I don't like our chances then.
Let's just get there. I just want to get there. And so, getting us to that point, hats off Mason Rudolph leading this team again, Jerry. The guy comes out from the opening drive. You saw it on the opening drive, the first third down of the game. This is what we talked about. We saw him do last week. And, we would all be probably lying to ourselves if we say we expected him to play great again. I don't think, given all of the performance Mason Rudolph has had in his 12 or 13 career starts with the Steelers, it's hard for us to automatically assume that what we saw from him in the Bengals game is what we should expect to see moving forward. Yeah. However, Jerry, he looked very similar. He was poised in there. For me, that was the biggest thing, that opening drive, third down, hostile environment. It's loud as hell. It's the loudest stadium in football. You see him open the progression looking to the right side of the field. It's nothing open. You can visibly see him scan through his progression, come back to the left. He sees Deontay Johnson, hits him. Deontay Johnson picks up the first down. Immediately, I texted you, and you're sweating it out. I mean, Jerry's sweating this out for days, but I immediately text him. I'm like, we can win today. That was another great quarterback performance. Ultimately, Jerry, he just didn't get rattled in there. You can look at the pass he makes to George Pickens, pockets collapsing. He pump fakes, pulls it back, and then slings 37 yards downfield. George Pickens makes a great catch. Don't discredit Pickens' catch.
There's only there's less than 5 receivers in the NFL that make that catch. George just has unreal body control, great feet, great hands. He's so special, dude. Talent-wise, and potential-wise, I mean, you can't even, put a grade on it. He is just this guy could be, imagine this guy with, a Patrick Mahomes. I mean, just sky's the limit.
Unstoppable. He could be in the top 5.
Like that. Yeah. Oh, dude, you can't stop a guy like that. He's been playing great. Like I said, everybody has been contributing. Everybody's, defense is a suspect right now for sure. But hey, they're finding ways to win. That's all that matters. You just win.
Jerry, we just want a shootout, brother. We just want a fucking shootout. You know something you said to me earlier this year, and as I watched that game Sunday, it just rang in my head over and over because I had a fucking blast watching that game on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, that's the most fun I've had in quite a while from an offensive side of the ball. Like, when's the last time you've watched the Steelers and you've literally sat there and thought to yourself, holy fuck, I actually trust the offense to score. When the Seahawks scored, I kept saying to myself, I'm like, I'm not worried because we're scoring. Like, we can score the ball now, which is something we haven't been able to say for years. But you said something earlier this year. You're like, you know what's fun, Kev? Points. Scoring is fun. That's what makes football fun. And we haven't really been able to say that except for now the last 2 weeks. We averaged over 30 points 2 weeks in a row. The first time we've done that since 2020. Talking 3 years now, back to October of 2020. Yeah. It's Mason leads the boys. He goes 18 to 24 and 6 incompletions. Yeah, but we know 3 of those, 2 were throwaways, and 1 was a ball he threw into the dirt on a screen that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, exactly. So realistically, he had like 3 incompletions.
Right. He played fucking great. So it leads me to now we know Tomlin comes out yesterday and he says in his presser that they're going to roll with Mason Rudolph again into Baltimore. Kenny is going to be the backup. There were all sorts of rumors swirling, things that, you know, aren't really worth talking about because we're never going to get the truth of the story about whether Kenny didn't want to be the backup or he denied being the backup, whatever it may be. The reality is this for right now is Mason Rudolph's football team.
Oh, 100%. I mean, listen, there's just no way you can take the ball out of his hands. I mean, the only way you do that is if, like, you have Patrick Mahomes or, like, a Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts. Like, you know, if you have those guys, yeah, I get it. They would be coming back. But, like, you know, it sucks. But Kenny hasn't proven that he can score 30 points. You know, he hasn't proven that he can take control of his offense and win shootouts. Like exactly Rudolph is putting up points, man. He's finding open receivers. He's not taking sacks at all. Like, he's doing a great job. They're also not asking him to do a crazy amount, and he's handling that perfectly.
Exactly. He's just, so for me, finally, Jerry Don, we're seeing a quarterback just do the routine things routinely. Yeah. Just make the plays that are there. We're not asking you to do crazy shit. Like him staying in the pocket and throwing that deep ball to George Pickens. Yeah. That's something that is above what I think they would ask out of him, you know, which is fucking great. And it's incredible to see it out of a Steelers quarterback because it's been a little while since we can say we've seen something like that. But that's not what they're expecting of him. What they're expecting is what we led the show with. Just run through your progressions, find the open guy, get him the ball. And by doing those things, but sprinkling in pushing the ball deep, because he threw the ball deep to Pickens early in the game too, in the first quarter. Yeah. So he did things that led into what you're saying. The run game was fucking phenomenal on Sunday, Jerry. We rushed for over 200 yards. Najee went 22 for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen went 13 carries for 75 in the first touchdown of the game. But it was the line blocked incredibly well on the Najee touchdown. You see what we haven't really seen is like everybody put a hat in the pile. They pushed that entire scrum into the end zone for the touchdown from about the 4-yard line and in. You know, they all bought in. And I think a lot of that buys back to right now, the team is rallied around Mason Rudolph. They believe in Mason Rudolph. But when you have elite quarterback play and a guy that's willing to push the ball downfield, it forces defenses to play lighter in the box, which then allows the line to have better push off the line of scrimmage. And you're seeing just finally Najee run with you know, a force, run with vengeance. Like he was not going down on Sunday. Najee.
Oh no, even the touchdown, like to keep his feet up like that, just unreal, dude. And the thing is, like, I was looking at it during the game, like something popped up on the screen and I was like, holy shit, like Najee's having a pretty fucking good year.
Oh, like leads the league over 1,000 yards now.
Yeah, over 1,000 yards, leading the league, broken tackles. Like, you know, I mean, I think he's earned a spot next year. Like, I think he has. Like these last couple weeks, like these last 8 weeks of the season, like he's been playing really fucking good. I know he's had a slow start and whatnot, but he's been playing pretty damn good. I wouldn't want to see him go. I'd like to see him come back, you know, depending on what the money situation is. But, you know, you keep that duo together, you know, Najee and Warren, offensive line gets a little bit better. You're making some noise. Right. I mean, the Steelers are playing really, really good sound football right now. You know,
Right.
they're not turning the ball over. You know, I would like to say they're getting to the quarterback. I wish they got to the quarterback a little bit more last week.
Some chances, just didn't finish. You know, TJ had a couple chances, slipped, didn't, Geno moved in the pocket pretty well, so I won't take it away from him.
Herbig just, I've said it a couple weeks ago, and, I don't remember what show it was, but every time Nick Herbig gets snaps, he does something really fucking good. Every time he gets snaps, he does
snaps
really
on
good.
Sunday, and he forces the strip sack, which wins you $31,000.
Oh, 100, dude! I think that was the game changer. That right there was the game changer.
Oh yeah, because at that point the defense really wasn't getting stops. Like it was a shootout. It was you score, we score. You score, we score. I texted you, Jerry and I texted off and on. You were doing the live stream, but I texted you. You're like, we might be cooked, Kev, because the defense just couldn't get a stop. And I'm like, it's going to come down to what looked like at that point the final possession. Who has the ball on the last drive to win the game? And the only thing that changed that was Nick Herbig plays 2 snaps, and on one of those snaps he has the strip sack. Somehow we have got to get that guy on the field at least a little bit more. I know TJ and Highsmith are the guys, but he has got to get on the field.
Yes, at least give him fucking 10, 15 snaps a game, man. You gotta. Every time he's in there, he's getting to the quarterback. He's making open field tackles. He's making good plays on the ball. Like, he's really fucking good, dude. I know he's young and whatnot, but, dude, those Wisconsin boys, they could play, man. They could play.
A per snap output perspective. Look, he did it in that, I think it was the Jaguars earlier in the year. He forces the fumble in that game on limited snaps. I mean, when he gets in there, he's creating pressures or he's creating turnovers. I mean, I'm excited about what we get out of Nick Herbig. I really think that he's going to be something special behind TJ. And did you see when he has the strip sack, TJ is fucking hyping him up, man. Let's get in the end zone. Imagine how Nick Herbig has to feel growing up, watching TJ play at Wisconsin, then following in TJ's footsteps to Wisconsin, gets drafted to the Steelers, gets to play under TJ now, and then he gets to celebrate a moment like that saves the Steelers season to that point with TJ Watt. I mean,
it must be incredible, dude.
It's got to be great.
Yeah, Joey Porter, I want to talk about him. I was expecting a little bit more out of him, but DK is unreal wide receiver. I mean, he's tough to stop anybody on him. But yeah, I know he got dinged up a little bit. I don't know what kind of really defense, like we said it last week, like stop playing this zone, dude. Just let him go one-on-one, man. Just let him go one-on-one. There was so many times where like they're in zone and like DK's, running, streaking across in the middle of the field. And it's like, oh my God, this is like a 40-yard fucking catch over and over and over again. Like just keep one guy on their best receiver, and that's it.
I said that, I tweeted that during the game that I just expected that Joey Porter Jr. would have a better game. And then I just watched it again before we recorded. I watched the game back before Jerry and I are recording now. And what I realized was that the plays that it looked like Joey Porter Jr. was giving up deep balls or like where DK was getting the better of him, they were in zone, because then they got down into the red zone late in the game. It was when they went for it 4 times and we stopped them.
Yeah.
They're inside the 5 and they fed it to Metcalf twice. And Joey Porter Jr. locked him down twice, because you're playing tight man press coverage at the line of scrimmage, and you don't have the ability to worry about the cushion or passing your man off through the zone coverage. And he locked him down inside of there. So I just think he's going to have to get better at knowing his spacing when they play zone, but also zone is relying on the other guys on the back end. And you can't really rely on any of those other guys. They aren't very fucking good back there.
No. Was it me, or did you see like there was a lot of fighting during that game?
Oh, that game was testy. That game was testy.
Oh yeah, it was chippy, man. It was chippy. It felt like every like flip of possession, people would get chippy. It was wild.
It was, so that felt to me like a playoff football game. Like that felt like what the playoffs should feel like. We're going to punch you in the mouth. You're going to punch us in the mouth. Someone's going to have to be standing at the end of this game. Yeah. And so I like that mentality out of the Steelers, which leads me to, Mike Tomlin, he got it done. Like he gets these games done. And so all week, Jerry early in the week last week is like, I think I'm going to bet 20 grand on the Steelers against the Seahawks. And I'm like, no, Jerry, I mean, that's a big bet. Obviously biggest bet of Jerry's life. And I'm telling him, I'm like, look, I've done I've bet that size of money before. I've put $20,000, $30,000 on tennis bets before. I know you stress them out, but I said to him, I'm like, look, as the week went on longer and longer, I'm like, Jerry, these are the games that the Steelers win. These are the games that Mike Tomlin gets them fired up for. We say all the other shit about him, but in these moments where you want to get to 9-8 and on the fence of the playoffs, he gets the boys there. And so seeing that, and then the team go out and execute the game plan the way that they did, run first, run heavy. It's what we said on the show last week they were going to have to do. To see them actually go out and execute a solid game plan from that perspective was, I'll give him credit. I mean, when he coaches a shitty game, I'll call it out. When he coaches a good game, we also have to give credit to that.
Of course.
And so
that was the best offensive performance of the year.
Without a doubt, because it's not just their season was still on the line. Like when we did it against the Bengals, we're at home. Okay. So you can say that the home crowd has some benefit to it. And plus the defense in that Bengals game turned the ball over 3 times for the Steelers. So we had 3 takeaways. That's big. That helps the offense get a spark. The offense saved the defense life on Sunday against the Seahawks.
100%. It went the opposite
we haven't
way.
been able to say that.
Yeah. It went completely the other way, like something we haven't seen in a long, long fucking time.
Yep. And so that's why I'm saying, like, I get it. Tomlin pisses us both the fuck off. And we would probably ease up on him if he would hire legitimate coaching staff, legitimate offensive coordinator, legitimate defensive coordinator.
The coordinator has to go. He's not good. He's not the guy, man. He's just not the guy.
No, that's where if we could have, I would have loved if we could have kept Brian Flores and just let Terrell Austin walk. But the Steelers, again, they don't let go coaches that early. But nonetheless, for the first time in a long time, we could rely on the offense to win a shootout. And the offensive side of the ball was aggressive. Everybody bought in. So as much as we say Tomlin loses the locker room, this, that, and the other shit, I mean, it didn't look like the locker room was lost on Sunday. That was a full team effort that we got out of the boys.
Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, everybody's been gelling together, playing really nice. I mean, backups on defense. Listen, they're giving up some big plays, but at the end of the day, they're winning right now. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hope we see Minka this week. I think we need him for sure this week. Who knows what Baltimore, like, what they're going to do? Like, people can say, yeah, they're going to sit Lamar Jackson. I don't think they're going to sit Lamar Jackson. I think they're going to play him for like a quarter, maybe 2. I don't think he's going to sit, though. I think
it's crazy for them to sit him with the bye week the following week.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like, people are like, oh, this is going to be an easy win for the Steelers. They're going to be – dude, the Steelers have lost to Tyler Huntley in the past.
Right.
Yeah,
So it's not like this is a guarantee that we're gonna beat them. However, if they do sit him, the Steelers should win this game. Vegas has the Steelers as 3.5-point favorites as it stands today.
Wow.
They're saying the Steelers are 3.5-point favorites on the road. So either they think that the Ravens are going to sit them, or the Steelers suddenly became Super Bowl favorites. It's one or the other.
Which I don't think is the second one.
No.
I'll tell you what, though. I would. You can't sit there now at this point in the year, like, and say you hope you lose this game as a fan.
No.
Like, I get it. Like, during the 3-week stretch we had where we looked horrible, we lost to all those bad teams. I can understand fans like, fuck it, season's cooked, like, might as well just get draft picks. But it's too late in the year for that, and this is just something we have to acknowledge as Steelers fans. Like, I don't think we're ever going to be like a 5-12 type of team. Like,
right.
I just don't think like they're built like that ever, We just have to suck it up, deal with it. Yes, we should have won those games, at least one of them, but hey, we didn't, and this is a spot we're in. If we make the playoffs, great. If we don't, hey, it's on to next year. You know what I mean? Let's see what we can do in the offseason.
What's interesting is that there are a few scenarios. We'll go over those right now. There are a few scenarios. If the Dolphins beat Buffalo, which is, for me, that game concerns me too. I know that's the one we more lean to because you would think that the Dolphins would beat the Bills in order to win the division. The Bills are rolling right now, which is part A that fucking sucks. Part B is that Miami has lost to Buffalo 12 of the last 14 times. They've only beaten them twice in 14 tries.
Yeah, that's bad.
So that's worrisome to me. Or the Jaguars lose to the Titans. That's our 2 routes of getting in. There's another way we could get in by losing, but there are so many other things that have to happen in order for that to happen. So our best bet is one of those 2 teams, either the Jaguars lose or the Bills lose and we win. We would sneak in as the 7 seed, more than likely go to Miami. Now, if that happens, Jerry Don, it's Mason Rudolph the rest of the way. Is it or is it not? Is this Mason Rudolph's football team to the end?
I mean, Tomlin, if Mason Rudolph was going to get the ball taken away, it was last week or this week.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not. So Mason goes out, he wins that game. Miami beats Buffalo. Mason Rudolph will have the ball in the playoffs. Make no mistake about it.
Without a doubt. But what does that tell you about next year? Like, what does that tell you about?
Hey,
because we said this.
Yeah, you never know what can happen, though. Like, hey, Rudolph, the Steelers can offer Rudolph a deal next year. Mm-hmm. And Rudolph can say, no, I proved that I could play in this fucking league. I'm going to go look for money somewhere else. Rudolph could not be on the team next year.
Right.
You know,
and so that's what's interesting. He might have priced himself out by these last couple of weeks.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, you just don't know. Like, also, Rudolph has been kicked to the curb for a number of years. Who knows how he really feels deep down? He could be like, okay, I went in there. I won 3 games in a fucking row. I looked good. Price went up. I'm not fucking beat to be a backup over here.
Right.
I'm going to go fight for a starting job somewhere. You know what I mean?
Which, Jerry, I will be honest when I say this. The way it stands now, I mean, I know this is not a very popular take with a lot of people that are diehard Kenny Pickett fans. The way it's gone the last couple of weeks, and if he leads us to the playoffs, if Mason Rudolph leads the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs, I don't know how you go into next season and not make Kenny have to earn it again. Like, you just simply cannot give the job back to Kenny if that's the case.
I think it's at the point now where it is like that. You know what I mean? Unless Rudolph goes out there and has like a 2-3 interception game, turns the ball over, you know, is fucking 14 for 28 and has 120 yards. Like, you know, then I'm sure those conversations are going to change a little bit. But like, hey, if Rudolph goes out there, and even if he loses the game, if he plays really good, and hey, we just couldn't get a stop on defense, we tried our best, we put up fucking 27 points, let's say 30 points, we couldn't get it done. It is what it is. There should still be a conversation about that for next year, 100%.
Oh, if you can afford to pay Mitch Trubisky $8.5-9 million a season, he's making $7 million.
Yeah, he's got to go. He's got to go. There's no way they keep him. None.
If they go to Mason Rudolph earlier in that little run of bad play by Mitch Trubisky, if they swallow their pride sooner and admit that Mitch Trubisky is just fucking not very good, if they go to Mason Rudolph sooner, we likely win maybe one of those games where Mitch played terrible and we're already in the driver's seat today. But I do think you can cut Mitch Trubisky if you have to move some money around. You don't want to pay a ton of money to the quarterback spot. You can cut Mitch Trubisky and then give that money to Mason if that's a number Mason's willing to take. But I'll be honest with you, the way he's played, if he puts another game out there like that, Jerry, as it stands right now, he's leading every quarterback in the NFL with the highest passer rating in the league. Now, granted, it's only 2 starts, but he's leading every other Purdy, all the good ones. He's at the very top. So to say that he's just played good quarterback and they didn't ask him to do much, I mean, he's played exceptionally well. And so there are quarterback needy teams that would be willing to throw some money at him, no doubt about it. I just don't want to go into next year with the idea of, okay, Mason walks, we still have Mitch on pay, you know, Mitch is still on the team.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I hate that idea. I hate that idea. I don't have enough faith in what Kenny has shown us so far to automatically just say, hey, this is still your football team, especially because you even said it earlier this year. Maybe the Steelers just don't have enough talent on the offensive side of the football to actually put up 30 points or to win a shootout. And now we can debunk those theories because it realistically is coming back to good quarterback play.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, listen, Mason Rudolph, listen, I believe, I think Mason's going to win this game. I think like there is a world like Steelers fans have to think about, like, hey, a guy like that, dude, he's been kicked to the curb so many times. You have to think he's thinking about other options. Like, you know, Tomlin can say what he wants, you know, and he always usually says this fucking super mark, you know what I mean, about Kenny, and he's our quarterback one and whatnot. If Tomlin comes out at the end of the year and, you know, does his offseason shit and he's like, we're going into camp and Kenny's QB1, That would piss me off if I'm Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to walk. I think what would make sense for Mason at this point would be for him to say, look, I'll come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I want a fair shot at being the starter, though. Like, if they're going to go into next year where they cut Mitch and maybe they draft somebody in a later round, a younger rookie guy, and that would basically be them saying, okay, Mason is our veteran quarterback on the roster. That is our veteran. We still haven't given up on Kenny. They're still, you know, we'll leave the light on for that, but we need to have something else. I don't see them signing another veteran if Mason Rudolph is the one that they re-sign.
No.
Okay, I just can't see that happening. So one of two things has to happen. Either they're going to let him go, and they still have to cut Mitch. Regardless, Mitch is not making $8.5 million next year to be the backup. He's just not worth it at this point. We know that. So they're going to have to either bring somebody else in that's a veteran, or you say, okay, look, Mason, we'll go into next year. We'll pay you $8-9 million on a 2-year deal, whatever you want. You're going to get a chance to be the Steelers starting quarterback next year. And to be honest with you, that I never honestly thought I would say these words. I would feel more confident with Mason Rudolph at the helm as it stands than I would with Kenny, only because you can't, that's 2 straight games, dude. That's 2 straight games, Jerry. We saw 24 tries by Kenny, and he couldn't get this to go the way that it's going right now. Yeah. And there could be a myriad of reasons why. There could be a lot of reasons. The coaching change could have something to do with it. Maybe the offense is really finally figuring it out now, because Kenny's first start without Canada, they did go for 400 yards. Yeah. He looked okay against the Cardinals before he gets hurt. But for Mason to come in there and play this good, not getting any reps really prior to going into the game last week, you have to give him a shot at it if you're not going to bring somebody else in that you think is definitely going to be the guy next year.
No, and Mason's playing with house money, man. He's playing with house money, dude. He's got nothing to lose. Nothing. Especially after these last 2 games, dude. He's got nothing to lose, everything to gain. You know he's hungry. You know fucking he's dying to win. He's dying to put up fucking stats. Like, you know, a guy playing like that's dangerous, man. It's dangerous, dude. That dude he's locked in. He's fucking locked in, dude. You can tell, you know, afterwards when they do the press conferences, he is locked in, man. He's fighting for a job, man.
And I think you can tell that he's playing the way you're saying with house money, because look at how he ends that game, Jerry. Look at the confidence Tomlin has in him to let him end the game that way.
We've seen year after year Tomlin, when Steelers are in that situation, they run the ball 3 times and that's it, and they rely on the defense. Not last week, dude. They said, fuck it. First down, 1st and 10. We're throwing the ball. We're getting a fucking first down. We're just icing this fucking game. It's over.
Yep. That used to be, this is the first thing Jerry and I talked about after the game ended. That used to be what they would do 10 years ago. You had Ben and AB in their primes. At the end of the game, you would need, you know, 1 first down to win the game. You weren't thinking that the Steelers were going to pull the air out of the ball and just lean on the run game. You would see similar types, inside slants, Ben to AB, seal the game. So when they did that, they throw the ball to George Pickens on an inside slant like that. I'm like, holy fucking shit. Because A, that ball can get intercepted if the route gets jumped. B, that ball can go incomplete and then the clock automatically stops. So you're fucking yourself there. So the confidence that they showed in him to do that told me that they really do believe in him right now. And it's not just that. Look how many times they went for it on 4th down throughout that game.
Yes, I know.
Opening drive, Jerry, it's 4th and 2, and they let him throw the ball downfield. I mean, GP doesn't get it, but opening drive. That
play pissed me off so much.
At that point, you're sweating $20,000. So
I was like, I thought the game. After that play, I was like, okay, this is bad. This just went south so fast.
Right. That just goes to show that the entire mindset of that team has been different the last couple of weeks. You don't ever really see Tomlin that aggressive very early on in games. I mean, you just don't. He is more of, he can say those things all the time. We don't live in our fears and, you know, all of that stuff, but he doesn't coach that way all the time. And when you saw them do it on the opening drive, go for it on 4th and 2, the next drive, they go for fourth down twice, and they're quarterback keepers. I love to see that we are starting to just use the QB sneak, because it's so fucking hard to stop inside of a yard. Hammer that thing. Don't outsmart the game. Nice and simple, hammer it. He's going to get the first down. I really, really was happy with the way that game went from the aggressiveness standpoint. That's what I prefer out of the head coach. Take the chances. This is it. I mean, this is it. Shoot all the bullets left in your gun. This is the end of the season.
Yeah, it's it. It's end of the season. I think we're going to is Roberts going to come back?
Hey, there's a chance. So Tomlin said Minka could play, Elandon Roberts could play. He said he's going to leave the light on for those guys. I would guess Minka probably plays if I had to guess. He actually, practiced a little bit towards the end of last week, did some jogging off to the side.
Yeah, so I think he'll play.
Maybe they don't rush him back, but man, it's got to be hard for him to be like, look, I could play, maybe risk it, get hurt again, definitely not for the playoffs, or I don't play, we don't win, we don't make the playoffs anyway. One way or another, he's going to have time to heal. You're already at the end of the year. So if he can go out there and play, I think a 75-80% Minka Fitzpatrick would still be better than some of the things we're getting on the back end. That's the only thing that scares me is that secondary right now.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's very, very, very suspect, dude. Very suspect. I mean, even Browning, he threw for like 300 and something yards against them.
Yeah. And so that's the one thing that does concern me. But if we go into this game, so I'll be in Baltimore. As soon as I said it was Saturday, I'm like, I didn't intend to go. Like I had no intentions of going, but as soon as I saw that the game was Saturday, I'm like, fuck, I cannot miss this game. Like if we make the playoffs, I'll be able to be home Sunday to watch all the other games. Yeah. I'll know what we need. I love that it worked out that way because everybody's going to now know what has to happen for the Steelers to get in, and we'll get to watch the other games. Basically like playoff games for us.
Oh yeah. I know it's a short week and whatnot, but I love this situation. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping that the Steelers can do enough early. So let's say Lamar Jackson does play. I'm just hoping they can do enough early to get to him, put him on his back, just to like put the thought out there. Hey, maybe we shouldn't because face the facts. Lamar is playing unfucking real this year.
MVP. In my opinion, he should be the MVP.
Me too,
I know a lot of people say McCaffrey. I disagree. I think what Lamar has, especially look, dude, he just lit the fucking Dolphins up. Yeah. He lit the Niners up before then. He lit the Jaguars up before then. He's playing at very, very high level football. He would be my MVP.
And if the Steelers can get to him early, maybe it puts the thought in Harbaugh's head like, hey, dude, we usually struggle against the Steelers. It's always a physical game. Maybe we should fucking take Lamar out after the first quarter and whatnot. Maybe to see. Maybe listen. Whatever gives the Steelers a better chance to make the playoffs, I'm all in. So
right at this point, everyone likes to say this, and I think this is very stupid to say. I want everybody's best shot. I want everybody's best punch. I would rather beat the Ravens at full health, full team. I'm not saying that. I'm not even greedy at this point. I just want to fucking get in there, and if that means that we're getting in there because we beat their backups, so be it. That's just how the fucking cookie crumbles sometimes, man.
Yeah, fuck it. I don't care. I just want to get in.
Do you think we get in, Jerry? Are you gonna? So last week we both said probably not. Where are you at with this?
I still don't think we get in. I do think the Steelers will win this game. I do. I don't think we get in. I don't think we get the help. It just reminds me from a couple of years ago. You've seen the Steelers watching the game after the game inside the stadium. The fans stayed, and it's like, we didn't get in. I just feel like it's one of those type of years. I would love to see the Steelers get in because like. A team like the Steelers gets in, everybody's writing them off.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Every team is going in there overly confident, maybe even a little bit lackadaisical. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we're going to push this team around. They're really not that good. They got a backup quarterback. They got horrible, horrible secondary play. Who knows what can happen? But listen, Steelers run the ball like that against another team. You're starting to be like, oh, shit. I mean, this team could fucking pound you out.
Here's the thing. If you can pound you out, pause. If you can get to the point where the Dolphins do beat the Bills, we will go to Miami, which I would love to go back to Miami, Jerry Don, to get a little Miami sun in January. I'll be happy. I would be very excited to be able to book a flight to Miami, but the Dolphins are dinged. They're dinged on the defensive side of the ball now.
Oh, yeah.
Do I think their offense could give us fits? Absolutely, because they have 100%. So much speed, and it is very concerning. I think McDaniel is a very good offensive-minded coach. It could give us fits. However, I still wouldn't say that it would be crazy for us to go out there and run all over them, just like the Ravens just did to them. So if we can run all over them and control the line of scrimmage. No, right. And they lose their best pass rusher now
for the year.
Yep. You're talking about one of their best defenders. So now it's going to be Ramsey's pretty much all they have on the back end now. So if we can, not to look ahead of Baltimore, but if we can just sneak in, I'm not saying that the Steelers are going to make a run or anything crazy, but I don't think we will perform as poorly against the Dolphins as maybe people would think on paper it should be.
No, I don't think we're going to perform as poorly against the Dolphins as we did with the Chiefs. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Like when we get in there, we go up 7-0 and they get blown out. I don't think that's going to happen.
No. So, I mean, you don't think that we'll get in?
Is there
I actually
a world
do.
where we get in and we don't play the Dolphins?
Yeah, there's a world where we get in and we don't play the Dolphins.
Who
it would
we
end
play?
Well, we would have to, it would be whoever would be the 2 seed. So likely the Chiefs, if the Chiefs jump up to the 2 seed, because the Jaguars end up being the team that loses. And so then if the Dolphins win, Jaguars lose, somehow we would have the ability to play the Chiefs. So we're going to play one of either the Chiefs or the Dolphins.
I'd rather play the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, agreed. I don't want to go to Arrowhead again. That would be 3 times. I've been to 4 times now. I've been to Arrowhead. I don't want to go back to fucking Arrowhead. I just don't. If you don't have to play Mahomes, I know it's a down year. I just would rather not play the guy. Yeah. So if I would much prefer the Dolphins. Let's look at Jerry Don, the betting. So this is as tight as it's ever been for us as far as this is concerned. Last week, Jerry takes Jaylen Warren anytime touchdown scorer. Opening drive, Jerry cashes that bet. That's money. Jerry Don hits it. He is now 9-8 on the year. I took the Steelers plus 3.5. I hit. I am 8-9 on the year. It comes down to this final week, Jerry Don. So for those that don't know, what Jerry and I bet last year was front row tickets to a road game this season. Loser had to buy the winner. I won last year's betting head-to-head. Jerry owes me that. This year, we haven't decided what we're going to do. Might be something similar. We'll figure that out here. The Steelers open up at minus 3.5. The over-under is 36.5. What are you taking for your bet this week, Jerry? And it's going to have to be, we're going to have to pick 2 bets. And here's why. Because if I hit and you lose, we're going to push. So we're going to have to pick 2 bets one way or another. It has to be decided.
Okay. I'm going to take a Deontay Johnson touchdown.
Ooh.
And I'm going to take the over.
Over 36.5, Deontay Johnson touchdown.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is... fuck. I'm going to take Najee to score. I just think what we're doing with the run game is strong right now. I think they're going to lean on the run game. I'm going to take Najee to score. I'm going to take Steelers money line. I'll take Steelers money line. Money line and Najee to score. That makes me nervous. I'll go with that. Najee to score, Steelers money line. You're going to take Deontay Johnson anytime and under 36.5.
Over 36.
Over 36.5.
Yes.
I would do the under, but after how many points we're scoring right now, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Mason Rudolph can keep this thing going, man.
That's the craziest fucking part about it. I've not had this much confidence in our offense in so long that now when I look at the over-under, I don't know what to make of it. And I don't know if Lamar's going to play, because obviously if it's Lamar versus Mason, you would think that the over, should hit. Lamar's going to score. Do they play him? Do they not play him? How long? Those are all of those things. But usually Vegas doesn't fuck this up. Because think about this, Jerry. You take the 3.5. Say you slap money on it right now. Ravens plus 3.5, and then it comes out that Lamar and they're going to play their starters for a half. You know that line's going to be much different than it is right now.
Oh yeah.
So if you're willing to risk it and throw some money on it, now might be the time to bet on it.
Exactly.
Just because you don't know what that line is going to end up doing. But yeah, no, I think that's going to be, it's going to make for a very exciting end.
If the Steelers win this game, where would they be in the division?
Second.
No, I'm saying like the record overall in the division. Oh, they only have one loss in the division.
5-1. We'd go 5-1. Our only loss would have been that Browns game.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't be second. We would still be third. The Browns would still be the 5 seed, I believe. Browns would be 5 seed. We'd be 7 seed.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that you look at for years and years and years, the Steelers have never taken dead last in the AFC North. I think it's something like 20 plus years now. We've never taken dead last. So when it looked that way 3 weeks ago after we had all those losses, we were in last place in the AFC. It's pretty much take it to the bank. The Steelers are not there. Every other team in the division has taken last except for the Steelers for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Like that's just, we are spoiled in that sense, spoiled in the sense that we do get to this point and it is fun. It is fun to go to this last week and do all of these things. We're like, wow, we really do have a chance. This can go our way. As much as we bitch about it, it is a lot of fun to do those things. So I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited for where we are right now. I'm also excited to know that even if, Mason isn't the quarterback next year or Kenny's not the quarterback, whatever that situation amounts to, that we know we at least have playmakers on the offensive side of the ball that we can score if we just get good quarterback play.
Exactly. 100%.
So,
I think the final score is going to be, I'm going to say 21-20 Steelers.
21-20 Steelers. That's why I'm not taking the 3.5. That's why that minus 3.5 is just scary to me. I would say 24-21, somewhere around there. I think it could get to 24-21. Even with Huntley, I'm still worried about the defense. No doubt about it. I'm still worried about the fucking 100%. Defense. They scare me. So I'm not going to say it's a blowout. Weather is also going to be a thing. Apparently, it's supposed to be some like 4 inches of snow or something in Pittsburgh. They're supposed to get some sort of snowstorm in Baltimore. Rain or snow throughout the entirety of the game is what's projected right now, which would really...
Right now there's a 70% chance of rain / snow.
Yeah, so it says it's going to depend on how this storm comes down from the north throughout the week, because it could turn to like icy rain the whole game. So that could be a sloppy game where the under comes into play. That's another reason it's hard for me to touch the over under is for that reason. Why I don't know what the weather is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Dunn, let's shout out the boys at Zeds.
Zeds, man.
Best in the game. I mean, they really are. You guys have to check them out. Make sure, stop down. It's in the South Side. Shop Zeds, vintage clothing, hats, shirts, shoes, anything you're looking for as far as the vintage memorabilia is concerned. You should check out Zeds in the South Side. Let them know the Steel Here podcast sent you. Those are our guys. They've hooked us up the entire year. We have been in contact with Mason. We're trying to get Mason on for another episode. Obviously, we had Mason on earlier in the year before the season started. Nice dude. We've texted, after each of the last 2 games. He's excited. He texted me that he's excited to get this done for the team. So, those are some good things. We're going to try and get him on. It's just obviously right now it's not realistic because we're in the thick of this thing. So we're going to look at having him on
after the season for sure.
Agreed. Like as soon as it ends, just see how things went for him, talk about those kinds of things, what his outlook might be for next year. So we are in contact with him. Jerry Don, anything else you want to add this week?
No, just win, man. Just win. That's it. Just win. Hey, if it doesn't break your way, it doesn't break your way. At least we have some, momentum and some things to think about for next year.
Look at how we have come, Jerry. This is exactly who the Steelers are, and this is how fans treat this situation. It's up, down, up, down, up, down. Yeah. I mean, we've been in and out on this football team 15 different times this season.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Just the NFL season, man. It's just year after year. It's just like the same exact fucking thing, man.
We only had a 5% chance to make the playoffs 2 weeks ago. After that third loss, that Colts loss, the Steelers had a 5% chance to make the playoffs. Now I think it's up to around like 50% or something like that, 40%.
Really, that high?
Yeah, so we're not that. I mean, there are a few different ways. Jerry, we could get in with a loss. Like we could technically make the playoffs with a loss. I think if Denver beats the Raiders, the Jaguars game doesn't end in a tie. As long as one team wins, I think it's Jaguars Houston, I want to say is who that is. One of those, or Jaguars Titans, whoever it is, as long as that game doesn't end in a tie. And there's another team that just has to lose. That is very possible that it could happen. We could lose and still get in as the 7th seed. So like we're not entirely dead. We do need some things to go our way, but there's life to this thing. We appreciate the shit out of you guys. This has been a roller coaster season, but the show wouldn't be shit without you guys constantly tweeting us, telling us, things that you want us to talk about on the show. We appreciate that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to Jerry's channel. The comments have been amazing. You guys are commenting hundreds of times an episode now. So, we love to read those. It helps us figure out what you like, what you don't like. We appreciate you guys for subscribing, sharing the show where you see it. It really has grown substantially. We're trying to get this show, as soon as we can get over 10,000 views a week on this show, I'm going to give away a pair of season tickets. I've said it in the past. We get this show over 10,000 views in an episode that's not like a star-studded episode where we don't have Kenny or Le'Veon Bell, those kind of guys. If we get this show to that point, I will help our loyal day one fans. I'm going to give away a pair of season tickets for that. So we appreciate you guys. Make sure you continue to like, comment, subscribe. We're going to the fucking playoffs, Jerry Don. So, I mean, it's good. We're going. You have to believe at this point. We have 1 week left. You have to fucking believe in it.
I believe.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right, later.
Later.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.